Very warm welcome to this week's Bromsgrove and Droitwich Standard podcast with me, Tristan Harris. Now, I've got with me today Rachel Stevens, not the S Club 7 singer. I bet you do get that a lot, don't you?
Yes, I do get that a lot.
So not the S Club 7 singer, but Rachel from Qwerty Cycles. Now, you run this with your husband, Lloyd.
Yes, I do, yeah.
And that's in Droitwich. And what kind of things do you do at Qwerty Cycles?
Qwerty Cycles is an online bike shop, so we sell spare parts and accessories around the world, and then we also sell bikes locally. We also offer a discounted service for local people to try and keep them fit and keep them on their bikes.
Now, I cycle as a commuter because basically I've said this before, haven't I? My rail pass is close to £100 from Northfield to Redditch. Yeah. So what I do is I cycle from Northfield to Barnt Green every day. Okay. But I've had a few punctures in the back wheel. Well, that's all sorted now. Now, the other day I bought a tyre and it was like I think it was a 1.9. Mm-hmm. And then the one on the back is a 2.1. And I thought, I didn't know, so I was Googling that. Is it better to have the fat one on the back and the thin one on the front? But that's what I've gone with anyway, because I couldn't be bothered, and it seems to be working okay. So that's my cycling. But you're here to talk to us about a cycle race. I
am, yes, yeah. Myself and my husband are very much involved with a local school, Chawson First School. We're on the PTA committee there, and approached the school to see if they wanted to run a Salt Sportive, just as an additional idea to raise funds for the school. So we started last year, and we had about 250 participants. It far exceeded what we expected to have.
Because you were told, if it's the first year, don't expect any more than 100 startups.
We did it through British Cycling, so anyone can enter through their website. And they told us that we'd expect up to 100 people. So 250 is amazing. And yeah, it was really well received. Everyone enjoyed themselves on the day. The weather held up for us. And it was just amazing. So we want to do it again this year.
And it raised £3,500 for Chawson First School.
Yes, it
where
did,
your daughter attends, which is the link, isn't it?
Yes.
So that's good. And what I bet the atmosphere was amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really good fun. We had a lot of parents come to help and some of the staff that came to help as well. So we had some music in the school because the event starts and finishes at the school. So it was just a really good community feel.
And the advantage we've got here in Droitwich is that we've got so much lovely countryside around, haven't we?
Yes.
So tell us a bit about the routes that it goes on.
Okay, so we've got two routes. We've got a 50k and a 100k to try and appeal to different cyclists. So it goes off from the school in Droitwich and it goes out towards Ladywood, Ombersley, up towards Stourport, Hartlebury, down to Chadsley Corbett, where we've got our first feed station. So both routes will go this way and stop there.
So feed station, excuse the dumbness, but is it just is that where just people eat and stuff?
Yeah, it's in the village hall. So we've got drinks available, and the week before we have the school and parents donating cakes. So we give them to the riders. It's all free. They don't have to take any money. So it's to keep them refreshed along the route.
Yeah, because it's quite a distance, whichever one you go for, 50k or 10k, or 100k. Yeah, and then where do they go from there?
From Chadsley Corbett, they go up towards Belbroughton, and that's where the route splits between the 100 and the 50. The 50 heads then back towards Droitwich, but the 100k then goes and does a nice hill climb up the Clent Hills before coming back down, joining the 50k for a little while before then going out towards Bentley and Hanbury and Stock Green to come back towards Droitwich.
Okay, that's good. Now, tell us a bit about the Sportive, because it's obviously, does it have to have certain criteria to be a Sportive event? Or?
No, not at all. It's a very family-friendly event. Last year we had riders from the age of 12 all the way up to 80-something. So anyone can have a go. It's a relaxed event, so you don't have to feel like you do lots and lots of miles and a professional rider. It appealed to a lot of people. We even had one lady last year who actually rode her bike for the first time on the event, and she'd only done her training in the gym, on a cycle in the gym. So it really is, there's no pressure. We have a lady that follows round at the end that we call a broom wagon. So she makes sure she goes round the 50k to make sure that people are okay. She's got the tools if anyone has any problems, and she makes sure that she's last, so there's nobody left behind.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, so you get that a lot in the park run. They're so like supportive and stuff, and then there's always the last one. I'll tell you what, that 50k point now, because that strikes me, because you've got half of them are going, right, we can turn around and go back now, and the other half are like, oh my life, there's the Clent Hills to take on.
Those people that are doing the 100k will be used to doing that kind of distance, so we'll be used to the...
These are not people who poodle along to do 1 mile a day and then go, right, I'm going to take on the 100k. Yeah. Now, the beauty of it is it's the 3rd of May.
Yes.
So we're doing this in February now. People have got plenty of time to train, haven't they?
Of course, yes. And we've got a really nice day today, so people can get out on their bikes and do some training. But like I said, there's no pressure. So, yeah, dust off that bike and have a go.
So it's the 3rd of May. It starts and finishes at Chawson First School. Yeah. What time does it start?
The event we'll start riders off from 9:30. So they'll be finished in the afternoon. It's £15 to enter for the 50k and £20 for the 100k. And they can do all of that on the British Cycling website. Or if they search for Salt Sportive on Facebook, they can find us there and use the Book Now button.
And then you can also, because we have the Velo go past our house.
That's right.
Birmingham Velo. So you could do this you could start a cycling journey.
Definitely, you could use it as your training.
I think you see June or July the Velo is, so you could do that. Yeah. So what about yourself? Have you done much 50k, 100k?
I haven't done the 100k myself. I've done the 50k a few times, but I've done some events in the past as well, so I'm used to getting on my bike.
That's well, you must like cycling, owning the cycling business and running this event, the Salt Sportive. Now, what was I going to say? It's good as well, because if you do get a bit daunted, you can always convert it to miles, couldn't you? And it'll seem a little bit less.
Yes, you could, yeah.
So that's good. And are there any tips you'd give to people if they are thinking about taking on the Salt Sportive?
Well, just if they're getting out to do some training, just start gradual. When I've been out of training for a while, I've just gone out and done whatever I feel like I can do. So it might be 5 miles just to get myself on my bike, and you'll feel that as you get out and you do more, you can increase those miles ever so slightly, and just enjoy it and just enjoy the countryside, the scenery on the route, and have fun.
Well, this is the thing, because we had a fitness lifestyle expert, didn't we, the other week? And she was saying, obviously, if you do exercise that you can't face doing, is too grueling, your regime is going to be pretty short-lived, isn't it? So, so get out there. And, I mean, the beauty of it is I think it was Lloyd who told me when I spoke to him, he said we tried to keep it as scenic and country as possible.
Off all the main roads. So it goes down some really nice country lanes, and we had some great feedback last time. The bluebells were out on the Clent Hills, and it was just beautiful for people to see as they went round.
Okay, so just remind us, if people want to get in touch, have you got a Facebook page?
We have got a Facebook page, /Salt Sportive.
Salt Sportive, and that's SPORTIVE.
Yes.
So that's Salt Sportive. You can get all your information on there, and then you can enter through British Cycling. Just a recap of the prices: £15 for the 50k, £20 for the 100k.
Yes, that's right.
We're trying to raise more money than the £3,500 from last year.
Yes.
For Chawson First School, and because I mean it is difficult these days, isn't it, for schools?
Yes.
With education funding, and obviously Worcestershire, although there has been increases in spending on schools, we are catching up in Worcestershire. So all the money that can help. And to be fair, I think a lot of the time the schools are just paying for the bare necessities, aren't they? They're just paying for the minimum so they can give the kids a decent education. But then what we probably took for granted years ago when the funding was in place, like luxuries like books these days, and stuff like a well-stocked library and music equipment and after school clubs and games and things for people, they're the things that are missing, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean last year the money that we raised went towards the pot that the PTA have, and we managed to pay for things like a climbing wall outside. We had some additional kitchens that we paid, play kitchens for the reception, and some extra books for the library. So it really did go a long way.
And don't forget, of course, because when you do this, you'll improve the education of the children, and they're tomorrow's Salt Sportive cyclists, aren't they? So
yes, they are, of course.
Put some more back into the pot.
Yeah. I mean, last year we did have on the actual school playground, to appeal to the actual children of the school and the community, we had some skills training for the children so they could bring their bikes along, and they really enjoyed that, and it really kept them going while the rest of the riders were out on the day.
They absolutely love it, don't they? I mean, my daughter, it was one of the, I think it is the proudest moment as a parent, or one of them, when you see your child ride without stabilisers for the first time, and they just, the look on their face is amazing. and then you get them, and then there's that kind of in-betweeny bit, isn't there, where they can't go far and you want to just get out there and stuff. And then, because we went through a phase of going up and down, because I live in Northfield, where we were going up and down the canals and stuff, and we've got the Ray Valley routes. Yes. And the other week, I actually went on the Selly Oak Blue route. You know, the Birmingham City Council have put a blue route through to the city centre from South Birmingham, and you've even got your own little traffic lights with little bikes that light up, a little red bike cool. and a little amber bike, and then the little green bike, and it actually stops the cars so the cyclists can go, which is marvellous, isn't it?
Oh, that's really good.
I mean, obviously it'll be better in a few years, hopefully, when we get, I mean, it's all about the electric cars, because sometimes you're cycling and the fumes from the traffic and stuff.
Yeah, you can't hear the electric cars so well, so you do have to be more wary. You can't,
so there is that. So that's the added danger, but your lungs will be in better shape because, well, I mean, this ride should be perfect because the Worcestershire countryside, there's plenty of trees to take out all the pollution. So that's fantastic. So please do sign up, because is it 250 places maximum?
It is. Well, so we're trying to increase that from last year because we were restricted by parking, so we did sell out last year. This time we've managed to squeeze a bit of extra space from the car parks, because we use Whitton Middle School to park, but we're going to try and get some cars onto the back of Chawson First School as well, so we can take a few more places. So, but we will be limited to spaces.
And where did your cyclists come from last year? Was it all over the country?
All over the place, yeah. We had some people come from Cornwall, from Devon, a lot from locally, but yeah, from all over the country.
But if you do live local and you want to take part, you've got no excuse. You should be able to cycle to the start line as well, shouldn't you?
Yeah,
if you only
absolutely,
live 2 miles out, save the parking for your Devon and your Cornwall people. That's what we'd say. I suppose the other thing about cyclists is, when they see something like this, they want to try a new route, don't they? Because they probably do the same old races every single year.
Yeah.
And as nice as they are, and however good the scenery is, it's always good. You know, like the Football 92 Club, where there's people who want to visit every football ground in the country, and then they mark them all off. And I guess was there a lot of that, do you think, last year? Yeah,
we had some people that came from cycling clubs last year that said it was really nice because even though they were local and they ride the roads all the time, there was some areas that they hadn't been before that we put the route down. So it was really good that we were actually opening the minds to try different areas to cycle.
And as I said, the atmosphere and the camaraderie and the stewards and everyone, I bet it was all really fun day.
It was really good fun, yeah.
I just got to ask about timing, because if you are undertaking a 50k or a 100k cycle, most people would want to know their time, whether they've done it before or whether it's their first time. Mm-hmm. So how do you manage all that?
Well, we don't go quite as far as timing chips, because we're obviously trying to keep the costs low so that we can make as much money for the school. But what we do provide is we know what time each rider goes off in the morning, and we record the times that those riders come back in. So we are able to provide a spreadsheet that we email out. It's not a race. We can't promote it as a race, but they can at least then have a look to see what their time was.
That's fine.
So no, we don't provide specific timing chips, but we are able to provide them with a time that they rode round each route.
And then everyone gets the spreadsheet so they know what time they finished as well. Yeah. So that's fantastic. Now, you've had some great support for the community, haven't you? From the community for the event.
Yeah, we've had some great sponsors. So our main sponsor is Nicol & Co Estate Agents in Droitwich. They're able to provide us with a lot of money towards the advertising and towards the medals that we provide at the end. So they've been fantastic. And we've also got the support of EML, a local Droitwich company who are team building events, and they have provided us with all the equipment we need for the start and finish area.
Excellent. Now, with the marshalling and things, do you need any volunteers for that?
It would be great to have more volunteers. I mean, we have some from the school, but it is limited. So if anyone wants to get involved, please do contact us.
The other thing is, have you managed to con any teachers and head teachers to get on their bike?
Some, yes. Last year, and I think they will be doing it again this year, we had one of the teachers on a tandem with her husband who went round the 50k. So I think they will be doing it again this year. I've yet to try and get them to do the 100k. But yes, we do have some support.
And that'd be great for the children of the school, wouldn't
of course,
see
yeah.
Mrs. Smith or Mrs. Robinson or whoever getting on the bike.
Encouraging them to get on.
They are role models as well, teachers.
Yes, of course,
that's good. Yeah. Excellent. Cool. So if you want to find out more, the Salt Sportive Facebook page and all the details will be on there. We'll also put it on our website and in the paper this week, so you can find out how to enter. And as Rachel says, it's only February. You've got till May, so there's no excuse. Get on your bike, get those tyres pumped, get those spokes checked, get those gears lubricated, and get on your bike. It's actually a nice day today, isn't it? But as we move on to talk about the other news stories, we're going to start with Storm Ciara, who caused devastation over the weekend. Fallen trees, we had them blocking. In fact, I'll tell you, don't read about Storm Ciara. You'll have a nightmare, because it's fallen trees blocking roads in Belbroughton, Romsley, Withall, some of the Blackwell, Bromsgrove itself, Hanbury, Droitwich, Oddingley, Bradley Green. I suppose that's the other thing, isn't it? You're just praying for good weather on the day.
Yes, yeah, we do.
So you don't want a storm. Well, by then it'll be H or something, Storm Harry, I think, by May. Drivers on the A38 in Bromsgrove near Aldi, where floodwaters dislodged a manhole cover, were left in a dangerous predicament, because obviously there was a massive hole in the road there. And there were power cuts in Chadsley, Corbett, Alchurch, Rainey Green, Belbroughton, Withall, Bradley Green, Hadza and Himbleton. Extra Worcestershire Highway staff were on hand. They were kept busy all day along with the fire service. There were bus delays as drivers obviously took more care and slower routes. But the trains, bizarrely, were not affected. I mean, West Midlands Railway have nearly lost their franchise. They managed to marginally keep it by January the 31st for improving sufficiently. But they were only a few minutes late in Bromsgrove and Droitwich all day on Sunday. So it's just typical, isn't it? 2:30 p.m, there was no trains north of New Street. But as for the south of Birmingham, we got off pretty lightly there, train-wise. We had a bit of snow earlier in the week, not as much as I like, because I love snow. Those of you who regularly listen, I would have had the sledge out this morning at 6 a.m. And then this weekend, we've got Storm Dennis coming. Now, there's going to be, so maybe don't start your cycling this weekend, more heavy rain and high winds, gusts up to 53 miles an hour for Bromsgrove and Droitwich on Saturday, 45 miles an hour on Sunday. And Storm Dennis, I'm disappointed. Storm Dave would have been better, wouldn't it? Everybody knows someone called Dave. Dave's a nice, good name. He would be less daunting if he was called Dave, but they've named him Storm Dennis. In fact, last year or the year before, they were going to have a Storm Tristan, and I was getting all excited. But of course, over that 12 months, we didn't get as far as T. So Storm Tristan's been shelved, I guess. I don't know if you get a rollover. Maybe you get a rollover. So there we are. Now, cycling in the wind, it's all right if it's a tailwind,
yeah.
But if it's a headwind, it's a nightmare.
No, it's not nice.
No, but you do. I always just think of the calories. If you're cycling into a headwind, you think more calories being burnt. Yeah, more calories being burnt. So there we are. So Storm Dennis, please stay safe and just look after yourselves over the weekend, and hopefully there won't be too much damage. Some serious news now. A man's been jailed for 24 weeks after strangling a police officer in the Golden Lion pub in Austin Road, Charford on Saturday. James Bateman, of no fixed address, was arrested and appeared in court on Monday, where he received a jail term along with £150 compensation. He admitted assaulting a emergency services worker. The sentence was welcomed by Chief Inspector Ed Hancock, who said, whilst police officers do go into the job knowing there's a possibility and a risk of violence, incidents like this never fail to shock him. Our frontline officers are the people our communities look to keep them safe, secure, and assaults like this will not be tolerated. Now, we've had a good reaction, as you'd expect, on Facebook to this. Sharon Butler said, he needs locking up for more than just a few weeks. Jolly Dog Edwards said, terrible sentence. Brenda Davis-Bates said, I was assaulted in 2005 by a patient when I was a nurse. It resulted in a whiplash injury and PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. I reported it to the police, and it took them 3 weeks to interview her. After my MP got involved, she only got a caution. She was a mental health patient. Now, we've got no further details on that, so I'm not in a position to give the police the right to reply, but that is Brenda's experience. There was also praise for some of the regulars, or the people who were drinking in the Golden Line at the time, who helped get the man off the police officer. So well done to everybody for doing keeping the community spirit, obviously, and making sure that this incident didn't have a worse outcome. The police officer, I can tell you, is recovering at home. It does lead obviously to more debate as well. That lady there said she was a nurse. I know there are a law in place, or there are laws in place to protect emergency services workers, and it should be extended really to the NHS. I think it should be a zero tolerance. These people are here to help you, and you should not really be doing that. So I think we need stiffer sentences. Whether 24 weeks is enough or not, I don't know. But to be honest, most people come out after half term, don't they? So that would be a 12-week term for him, which doesn't sound a lot, does it? 3 months. So maybe tougher sentences are needed. On to more brighter news now. And this time last week, on Wednesday night, I was invited by Slimming World consultant Tracy Gardner to judge a cake, pudding and dessert competition from her members. Now, there was 20 creations. I mean, we had like a banoffee pie. There was like a cheesecake. There was this lemon bundt cake that won it, which was amazing. There was all sorts of carrot cakes, ginger cake, everything you could think of. And unfortunately, there was 20 I had to get round in 10 minutes, which was a difficult task. I only had a little spoonful of each one. I felt like Paul Hollywood. I was standing behind the cake and trying to describe, running out of superlatives. But well done to everybody at the Slimming World group, because there were some amazing creations. And as Tracy said, it just proved for Slimming World, you can have your cake and eat it. So that was good. But that's not the reason why I mentioned that. I didn't mention that, honestly, to brag that I got to judge a cake competition in this job. I wouldn't do anything like that. I was just mentioning that for the forerunner for the next story, where I also met Faye Esquires Bridgewater. Now, she's a very special woman. Her parents were told when she was born that she may never walk because of a muscle disorder. Her mum, Gillian Squires, and her dad, William Bridgewater, worked hard with her, and she defied the odds, basically. Not only did she manage to walk, she started dancing at the age of 4 and has since gone on to win a string of awards. She's won trophies, medals and certificates, and in November she even got 100% at the one dance exam. She's taken on to Apprentice 1 dance this year. That's her goal. She suffered some more heartache 2 years ago when she lost her mum due to cancer. And as I say, I met her in the Slimming World group in Cats Hill. She joined there last April. She was a size 28. She's lost 1 stone, 3.5 pounds, and she's now dropped to a 16 to 18 dress size. She's more agile, dancing's a lot easier, and she's continuing her weight loss journey. And I thought I'd give it a mention because we want to big up these standard shout-outs. So if you know somebody who's deserved of a standard shout-out, whether they're helping out in their community, whether they've won an award recently, please email us, editor@bromsgrovestandard.co.uk, editor@droitwichstandard.co.uk. And we want to give as many standard shout-outs as possible to people who are doing well. Moving on to sport now. So we started with cycling and now we're back at sports. Do you ever go down Droitwich Spa FC and watch them?
I don't.
You don't. Okay, well, we're going to get on to Droitwich Spa FC in a minute. Bromsgrove Sporting first. Sporting 6, Lowestoft 0 last week. I think it was back-to-back 6-0 wins for the Rouslers. 3 goals from Richard Gregory, 3 goals from Shaquille McDonald. I don't know who keeps the match ball in that situation. Or maybe it's the person who gets the hat-trick first. they get one each. One, I'm told they get a match ball each. That's good. Well done to Bromsgrove Sporting. They're currently second in the league. Sporting. They've played 30 games with 57 points on the board. Tamworth 28 games, 59. So we still need Tamworth to slip up in a couple of games at some point. Good news, as ever, you've been brilliant. You roused the supporters. The attendance was 1,110, the best attendance in the Midlands at that level of football, and the second best in the country. So well done to Bromsgrove Sporting. This weekend, it's an away trip, but not too far. Hensford Town away. Hensford are in 13th, so good luck to the Rouslers this Saturday. Droitwich Spa are doing fantastically well as well. They beat Bromyard 3-1 last weekend, and James Lemon got a hat-trick. So we've had a 6-0 and a 3-1 from our teams, and we've got 3 hat-tricks on the board. Fantastic work there, guys. Willen Hall this Saturday, they're in 8th position, and that's away. And then Wiley on Wednesday night, I think that's at home, and they're 4th from bottom. Now, Droitwich are in the opposite situation to Bromsgrove. They've got games in hand over the Old Wolfrians, who are leading on 35 points. I think it's like 4 games in hand, and Droitwich are on 34 points. They've played 15, Old Wolfrians 19. So if Droitwich can win a couple of their games in hand, they will be clear. And as we say, every week, Droitwich need to get promoted because they're having that brand new stadia pitch built. And we'd wanted to play as high level of football as possible there. Once we build it. Well, not me personally, but, the powers that be. I want to say a big thank you to Rachel. Have you enjoyed your podcast?
Yes, I have.
Experience?
Yeah, it's been unusual, but really good. Thank you.
You'd have to come back after and tell us how it all goes.
Yes, I'd love to, yeah.
So that's good. Just a reminder, the Salt Sportive cycle race, 3rd of May. Cyclists go off from Chawson First School from 9:30 a.m. £3,500 raised last year for a Chawson First School. We want to beat that this year. There's a 50-kilometre and a 100-kilometre race. And as we said, it's only February. You've got months to get on that saddle. So please do that. Just search for Salt Sportive or check out the stories in this week's paper and website for more information and details on how to enter. Now, Claire's up next to tell you what you could be doing in Bromsgrove, Droitwich and Rubery over the next few days.
For all the things to do and see this week, it's Claire Bullivant with this week's What's On Guide.
Thanks, Tristan. Loads going on again in and around our area this coming week. For the full listings, do check out this week's paper or our website and social media channels. It's all on there. But here are a few of my top picks. Starting on Saturday, the 15th of February, there's a Primrose Hospice 80s Valentine's disco happening at Redditch Cricket, Hockey and Rugby Club on the Bromsgrove Road. Fancy dress is optional, but what better excuse than to pull out your old leg warmers and crimp your hair. 80s discos are the best. I hope to see you there. Starts at 7 p.m. on Saturday. There's also Strong Enough, the Cher tribute happening at the Palace Theatre in Redditch on Saturday, 7:30 p.m. start there. This is where we turn back time and celebrate the queen of pop and rock, Cher herself. It's a dazzling show which celebrates Cher's career spanning across 6 decades. Yes, I said that right. She's been around for 6 decades with Europe's #1 Cher tribute artist. There's a full live band and her cast of dancers. It's going to be amazing. Get your tickets quick from the Palace Theatre. Loads of things going on all over the place on Saturday night. As I say, we can't mention everything on the podcast, so do check out the online listings and also this week's paper. But just a couple more to mention on Saturday night. St George's Soul Club will be at the Licky End Social Club on Bromsgrove. B61JT is the postcode there. 8 p.m. start. Chaos, the incredible Chaos. They're putting on a show at the Railway Inn in Redditch. And the Little Eagles are back at the Oust House in Redditch on Saturday night too. 9 p.m. start for that one. Also, loads of live music going on across Bromsgrove. Aren't we lucky to have so many great bands across our region? Do support them. Get yourself out and about to experience everything we do have to offer here in Worcestershire. Moving on to Sunday, the 16th of February, there's a new South Redditch walking group which has sprung up. This is for residents to meet friends and get some fresh air. Emma Marshall, she's a resident of Greenlands in Redditch. She started the group after one of her neighbours asked if there were any local clubs or things that she could do to make friends. Emma is very passionate about her community. In fact, you may remember her from the Woodrow and Greenlands Community Orchard. That was all her idea. She put it into place. They planted 20 fruit trees last February, and I hear they're doing very well. Well, Emma now has come up with this walking group, and it's a great way to get out and meet some friends. So join Emma and friends this Sunday on the 16th of February. Meet at 3 p.m, meeting at the South Redditch Social Club in Greenlands. Everyone's welcome to join and add a few steps to their pedometer. And also, if you want more information on that, the group is on Facebook. Just look under Greenlands and South Redditch Walking Group. Then on Sunday night, my top picks are Disney's Aladdin Jr. at the Norbury Theatre in Droitwich. They've got two shows, one at 4 p.m. and one at 7 p.m. norburytheatre.co.uk for all the information on that. And we've also got Fairport Convention. Yes, my favourite. They're back at the Artrix in Bromsgrove. These guys are renowned, aren't they, as the founding fathers of British rock folk music. They have maintained consistently high standards for over 5 decades, almost as much as Cher, or as long as Cher, and they remain as entertaining as ever. Still bold, still vigorous, and still willing to take musical chances. An evening with Fairport never fails to dazzle, does it? You're going to love it. It's going to be a great show. Do not miss out. Get your tickets from the Artrix for Sunday evening, 7:30 p.m. there. Then next week, a few top picks. On Wednesday, the 19th of February, Rapunzel, A Tangled Musical Tale is on at the Palace Theatre in Redditch. 1:30 p.m. and 4:30 p.m. showings there for the kids. Then for the adults on Wednesday night, we've got Jimmy On, Ramble On Comedy Show at the Artrix. This is Australia's favourite Irishman and biggest comedy star. He's been performing his stand-up now all around the world. He's even made movies, won some awards, including actually the Edinburgh Festival Critics Award, which is a big deal. He's also stormed major TV comedy and chat shows. He was on Des O'Connor, Just for Laughs, and in America he was on the Conan O'Brien Show, which again is a massive deal. So see him live, catch him while he's here at the Artrix in Bromsgrove, 8 p.m. on Wednesday. You're going to laugh out loud. He's a very, very funny man. Then Thursday, the 20th of February, just a couple of things to mention. There's an NSPCC lunch happening at the Artrix in Bromsgrove. Get there early, before 2 p.m, because there's going to be a screening of Knives Out to enjoy a light lunch prepared and served from about 12:30 p.m. So it's for a great cause. Only £7 a ticket. Just turn up or contact them through their website on the artrix.co.uk. There's also Great Balls of Fire at the Palace Theatre in Redditch on Thursday, the 20th of February, which I know is going to be a fantastic show. Paul from the Palace was telling us all about it on a previous podcast. And as I say, do check out our full event listings in the paper and also on our website. And remember, if you have an event going on, let me know so I can let everyone know for you. Have a great week. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Claire. Loads going on there across Bromsgrove, Droitwich and Rubery. So make sure you get yourself out to those events and support them. Support our local football teams this weekend. Good luck to Bromsgrove, who are playing Hensford, and Droitwich, who've got Willenhall on Saturday, and Wiley on Wednesday. Remember, if you want to get in touch with anything you've heard on this podcast, or if you want to get in contact with us about any issues covering Bromsgrove, Droitwich, Rubery or South Birmingham, maybe you think you've got a good topic for us to discuss, maybe you've got an event coming up or an activity, please do get in touch, because we'd love to get more people on this podcast and get you covered in the paper on our website. There's really so many streams now. We can make sure your events and issues get aired. Just get in contact by emailing editor@bromsgrovestandard.co.uk or editor@droitwichstandard.co.uk. They're our websites as well. We've got daily updates on those. We've also got Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. So loads of places where you can join the local conversation, promote your community and get those issues, views and opinions out there. All that's left to say, Storm Dennis is on his way, so please be careful over the weekend, and we'll hopefully see you next week.